Long before the term classical crossover was even coined, Eric Carmen, who sadly passed away at the age of 74, was already showing the world how it's done with his iconic 1975 single, All by Myself. This international hit reached number 2 in the US and number 12 in the UK, and it cleverly borrowed the melody from the second movement of Sergei Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2 in C minor for its verse. As if that wasn't impressive enough, Carmen also included a classical-like piano interlude, showcasing his musical genius. But Carmen didn't stop there. He also revisited his 1973 Top 40 hit with his band The Raspberries, Let's Pretend, and reworked it for the chorus of All by Myself. Talk about making the most of a musical idea. All by Myself became Carmen's first solo single and the biggest hit of his career. In 1996, the song was given new life when Celine Dion recorded her own version, propelling it to the top of charts worldwide. In 1976, Carmen followed up with another smash hit, Never Gonna Fall in Love Again, which reached number 11 on the US chart. Once again, Rachmaninoff played a part in the song's success, with Carmen quoting from the composer's Symphony No. 2. Both singles were featured on Carmen's debut solo album, aptly titled, Eric Carmen, which became the most successful of his 6 solo albums, reaching number 21 on the US album chart. Carmen continued to make waves in the music industry with more hits like She Did It, 1977, and Change of Heart, 1978. But it wasn't until 1987 that he experienced another massive success with Hungry Eyes. This song was featured on the soundtrack of the iconic movie, Dirty Dancing, and although it wasn't one of Carmen's own compositions, he was invited to lend his vocals by producer Jimmy Eaner, who had previously worked with the Raspberries. Hungry Eyes became an international hit, reaching number 4 in the US. Prior to Hungry Eyes, Carmen had already tasted success in the film industry with the song Almost Paradise from the movie Footloose in 1984. Co-written with Dean Pitchford, the song reached number 7 in the US and was performed by Ann Wilson and Mike Reno. In 1988, Carmen and Pitchford struck gold again with Make Me Lose Control, which became Carmen's last big hit, reaching number 3 in the States. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, to Russian Jewish immigrants, Carmen's musical talent was evident from a young age. By the time he was 2, he was already impersonating Tony Bennett and Johnny Ray for his parents. At just 2.5 years old, he began his musical education at the Cleveland Institute of Music's Dalcroze Eurythmics teaching program. By the age of 6, he was learning the violin from his aunt Muriel Carmen, who was a prodigy on the violin and viola and played with the Cleveland Symphony Orchestra. Music was in Carmen's blood. At the age of 11, he started learning the piano and soon began writing his own songs. While attending high school, he formed various bands and honed his skills on the guitar to complement his keyboard abilities. Carmen's career took a significant turn when guitarist Wally Bryson joined his band, Cyrus Erie, in the late 1960s. Inspired by British groups like The Who and the Small Faces, Cyrus Erie became Cleveland's hottest band. They eventually signed a deal with Epic Records but faced challenges with unsupportive producers. After Bryson's departure, the group disbanded. Undeterred, Carmen reunited with Bryson, along with drummer Jim Bonfanti and bass player John Alexic, to form the Raspberries in 1970. The group achieved their classic lineup when Dave Smalley replaced Alexic, and they released their debut album in 1972. The album spawned their biggest hit, Go All the Way, which reached number 5 on the US charts. The Raspberries went on to score 2 more US Top 20 entries with I Wanna Be With You, 1972, and Overnight Sensation, hit record, 1974. Their second album, Fresh, was their most successful, reaching number 36 on the US chart. The Raspberries proudly wore their 1960s influences on their sleeves, but this led to them being labeled as teeny boppers heavily influenced by the Beatles. However, Carmen saw the Raspberries as a reaction against the grandiose pretensions of rock music at the time. They aimed to write melodic 3-minute pop songs, which set them apart from the prevailing trends. Their impact was far-reaching, influencing major artists like Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, and Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses. The Raspberries played their final show in May 1975, and Carmen embarked on a solo career. He signed with Arista Records, impressed by the artist-oriented approach of their boss, Clive Davis. In November of that year, Carmen released his first solo album. Throughout his life, Carmen experienced the ups and downs of relationships, with his first 2 marriages ending in divorce. He found love again with his third wife, Amy Murphy, a former broadcaster, whom he married in 2016. Carmen is survived by Amy and his children, Catherine and Clayton, from his second marriage. Eric Carmen's musical legacy will forever be remembered. His ability to seamlessly blend classical and pop elements, his catchy melodies, and his heartfelt lyrics have left an indelible mark on the music industry. Though he may be gone, his music will continue to inspire generations to come.